Japan seeing few travelers and tour visits a week after wary border reopening. And sa video na to, pag-usapan natin yung latest update related sa travel ban dito sa Japan. Ano na nga ba ang latest? Alamin natin sa video na to, kaya panoorin ninyo. Hi guys, this is Alan. Welcome back to this channel, Gaijin World. So according sa Hindustan Times, it could be a while until Japan starts to see tourist groups experience a matcha tea ceremony in Kyoto, tackle the ascent of Mount Fuji, and witness the holy island of Miyajima before it fully reopens by the end of the year. Mukhang matatagalan pa nga daw, unti-unti kasing or gradually pa lang na nagbubukas ang Japan para sa mga tourist. Daily ay 20,000 arrivals pa lamang ang kanilang tinatanggap. After more than 2 years, Japan, one of the world's most popular travel destinations, reopened for tourists, yet few if any came. No exhausted yet exuberant travelers following a flag-carrying tour guide were spotted at Tokyo's Haneda International Airport on June 10 when Japan officially reopened its borders and doubled the daily entry limit to 20,000 visitors. The Japanese National Tourism Organization said it doesn't have any data on tour groups in the week since, and some tour operators have yet to begin their visits. In June, Japan will allow foreign tourists to visit the country for the first time since tight pandemic travel restrictions were imposed 2 years ago. Nasabi naman natin sa mga previous video ko, itong June ang pagsisimula para sa mga turistang makakapasok dito dahil nag-open na sila by June 10. Dinagdagan na nila yung type of visa na makakapasok dito at isa na nga dito yung tourist visa. Although para lang ito sa mga package tour or I think minimum of 15 packs or minimum of 15 persons para makapag-travel dito as a group. Last month, Japan's government unveiled with limited fanfare an initiative to start letting in visitors and their spending money. The associated restrictions, including mandatory mask wearing, temperature checks, and limited free movement, as well as relatively short notice, appear to be making it difficult to plan for and attract visitors. Requirement nga para sa mga papasok dito ang pag-wear ng mask, laging isuot ang mask, pagbili ng travel insurance or medical insurance para in case na ikaw ay magkasakit dito at makakuha ka ng COVID virus ay meron kang magagamit na insurance dahil dito sa Japan, lahat ng tao dito, lahat ng long-term residents ay may insurance. So kung ikaw ay tourist, mahalaga na meron kang travel insurance dahil mahal magpagamot dito sa Japan. Even right through June 10, we weren't sure if there would be a last-minute change, said Andy Eastham, a spokesman at Wendy Wu Tours, which says it's the largest operator for tourists from the UK, Australia, and New Zealand to Japan. So, from a commercial and product perspective, we couldn't do anything until we knew for sure that Japan was open again. So, hindi nga malinaw para sa iba't ibang mga tour or travel agency sa buong mundo na ang Japan ay magbubukas na sa June 10. Kung alaman nila ay hindi din maliwanag yung magiging guidelines ng mga travel agency para makapag-invite sila ng mga turista dito. Before the pandemic, Japan was at the peak of a tourism boom with inbound visitors reaching a record in 2019. Now, the island nation is one of the last remaining rich economies with strict border controls, while airlines, hotels, and retailers are all eager to regain the business they lost. The trickle of foreigners allowed into Japan last year spent 120 billion yen or $943 million. In 2019, they spent 4.8 trillion yen or 40 times more according to the Japan Tourism Agency. Even so, the government is cautious ahead of July 10 upper house elections with COVID border controls still popular with voters. So malapit na nga ang eleksyon dito at mangyayari yan sa July 10. So siguro ay syempre para mas maging maganda ang kalalabasan ng resulta doon sa eleksyon ay unti-unti na nilang pinapapasok or nirelax ang border ng Japan. The island nation released its reopening guidelines on June 7, just 3 days before the announced reopening date. That didn't give Wendy Wu Tours and other travel agencies much time to prepare marketing campaigns to begin attracting visitors. So dahil nga sa tight or sa mabilisang desisyon. Although masasabi mo bang mabilis dahil 2 years na naghihintay ang mga kababayan natin makapasok dito. Pero siguro ang mabilis para sa kanila, kumbaga konti lang yung time frame ng pag-a-announce para sa mga travel agencies, yung magiging guidelines para sila ay makapag-market din naman at makapag-invite nga ng turista dito sa Japan. Japan soft launched its reopening on May 24 when it invited tour operators and officials from abroad to participate in trial trips around the country. Visitors were ushered by Japanese tour staff from one location to the next, with the local guides monitoring their movements and often reminding them to wear masks. It also not clear how those who flaunt the rules or test positive for COVID-19 will be treated. So, ito medyo nagiging clear na rin naman na yung mga travel agencies, sila ang magiging accepting organization, sila ang magre-register ng mga tourists sa ERFS system para ito ay mabigyan ng certificate ng immigration at makapasok dito. Sila din ang bahala kung anong medical institution ang paglalagyan nila doon sa mga turistang magkakaroon ng COVID-19. So I think magiging basis dito yung itinerary ng travel agency doon sa tour na gagawin nila para sa mga turista. So kung ano yung malapit na hospital ay doon sila dadalhin in case na magkaroon ng magkakontract ng COVID. When it comes to restarting tourism, it is imperative that we gain the understanding from the people of the host areas and that they feel safe. Tetsuo Saito, the Minister of Land, Infrastructure, Transport, and Tourism, said at a Friday news conference, it will be vital to balance infection countermeasures with economic activity as we work to recover tourism demand. With an election looming, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida appears to be worried about opening the floodgates for inbound tourists too fast, too soon. The cabinet's approval rating rose to 59% from 55% last month, according to a poll by broadcaster NHK conducted June 10 to June 12. When asked about the government's move of doubling the daily limit for inbound tourists, 47% of respondents said the measures are appropriate, 23% said it should further ease restrictions, and 20% answered the restrictions should not have been eased. So gumanda nga yung rating approval ng Prime Minister Fumio Kishida dito simula nung kanilang buksan ng kanilang border para sa mga turista. What's clear is that there's pent-up demand. The JNTO and Japan Tourism Agency report receiving a high amount of visitor requests from overseas. The archipelago topped the World Economic Forum's latest ranking for the Travel and Tourism Development Index. A weaker yen is also making the country a more attractive and affordable destination. So kung sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam ay sobrang bagsak ng yen ngayon, nasa 130 yen or more compared to $1. So 130 equals to $1 ang palitan ngayon ng yen. Kaya kung mababa ang yen, ibig sabihin mas marami ka. Kung meron kang dollar at pinapalitan mo ng yen, so mas marami ka mabibiling yen at magagamit mo yan dito. Although kahit na sabihin natin marami ka mabibiling yen, nagtataasan naman ang presyo ng mga bilihin dito sa Japan. So hindi ko alam kung gain nga ba yun? Kumbaga magkakaroon ba ng benefit yung mga turista dito sa Japan sa pagbagsak ng yen. It could be a while until Japan starts to see tourist groups experience a matcha tea ceremony in Kyoto, tackle the ascent of Mount Fuji, and witness the holy island of Miyajima. Hironori Katsuse, the chief of Trip.com Japan, said in a recent interview with Bloomberg TV that he expects Japan to fully reopen by the end of the year. When Daewoo Tours plans to restart travel packages July 25, touting its Jewels of Japan package as being one of the first in the reopening. It's a really exciting time for us. We've been waiting for Japan to open for the last few years, said Eastham, adding that their clients don't seem to mind the rules that they will have to follow while visiting Japan. As you can imagine, we've had up to 3 years of demand for tours. Ganon kadami ang gustong makapunta dito sa Japan, kaya tuloy-tuloy lang ang inyong panonood dito at i-update ko kayo related sa travel ban dito sa Japan. Nagustuhan nyo ba ang video na to? Kung nagustuhan nyo, please like this video at mag-comment na rin kayo at i-share nyo na rin to sa mga nag-aabang ng travel update related dito sa travel ban sa Japan. At sa mga nakasubscribe na at patuloy sa panonood sa aming mga YouTube videos, thank you so much for watching. At kung hindi ka pa nakasubscribe naman, ano pang hinihintay mo? Mag-subscribe ka na and i-hit mo yung notification bell para lagi kang updated sa aming mga susunod pang i-upload na mga videos. At huwag niyong kalimutang i-check yung aming YouTube homepage. Puntahan niyo yung playlist dahil marami kaming playlist dyan na makakatulong sa inyong pamumuhay dito sa Japan. Maraming salamat ulit sa panonood. This is Alan and I will see you on our next video. Huwag niyong kalimutang i-check yung mga videos na lalabas dito sa screen. Okay? Bye!